The Las Vegas Raiders are one of those teams that, I mean, just before free agency came up, before any of this happened this offseason, you're like, okay, they've got a couple things to take care of. But you didn't think they were going to do a couple things they did. Signing of Chandler Jones, trading for Davante Adams. Yeah, it was a little wild. Little wild. But as we move forward, I think there's a couple things you need to take a look at, and starting with us projecting the Raiders starting offense and defense. Now, again, there's different different formations. There's different things that, they're going to run a balance. I think Patrick Graham likes to run a balance of a 4-3 and a 3-4. So there's different things you want to look at, different matchups you want to be able to bring out with your personnel and your squad. I get that. This is just the base mostly. We've got two specific formations on offense and two specific bases on defense that I think that the Raiders could definitely look at doing now. If you take a look here, so we're going to start with the defense first because I'm so excited for the defense here because I feel like there's a lot of different things you could look at. So we'll start with the defense because I feel like that's the most exciting in this case. You talk about at 4-3 defensive end Max Crosby. On the inside you got Vernon Butler and Bilal Nichols. And like I said, there's a lot of other guys like Kyle Payco you could go with in that. This is not by any means set in stone. This is guys that you take a look at. Okay, where could they go? For reference, you could look at guys like we said, like Kyle Payco, Andrew Billings, the former a tight end for Baylor that was just huge and a stud. You love it. Kendall Vickers is another guy that I think you could see in here, but this is just what I feel like is going to start right away. You talk about having Nichols and Butler in the middle there. You absolutely love it to start things out. Now, again, these could change. These could absolutely change, and you might even want to take out Butler in this situation and put in Vickers. It doesn't matter to me, but I want Bilal Nichols on the field. He's a guy that I think is going to make a lot of noise here and a lot of sense. On the other end spot, you got Chandler Jones. I put an asterisk next to this because I really want to see Malcolm Kuntz on the football field. I don't care if you have to put Chandler Jones at outside linebacker and replace Kyler Fackrell in a 4-3 and put down Malcolm Kuntz. It does not matter to me. Get Malcolm Kuntz on the field, please. But in the base, we'll put Chandler Jones there and just kind of see where he goes. Then you got also on the outside linebacker, you got Kyler Fackrell, who nobody talks about, and this man had literally 10.5 sacks with the Packers a couple of years ago. He's a bad man. He does a lot of good things, and he brings it off the edge. So you've literally got guys coming off the edge in Mason Crosby, who I'm just finding out that I spelled his name wrong. That's fantastic. Great job, Colton. I told you our Excel skills are mediocre. They're average at best. We'll say average, but it's Crosby, not Krosobi. Okay, sorry about that. But overall, like I said, Kyler Fackrell, you've got depth here, especially at edge. And if this is a get the passer, have the passer, and defend against the passer league, and I think that the Raiders check off all boxes in that, meaning they've got good defenders in terms of the secondary, they've got good pass rushers, and they got Derek Carr. So they're looking good at all three of those areas. And if you take a look, Kyler Fackrell, Malcolm Kuntz is another guy. Like I said, they've got some solid depth moving forward. Now, middle linebacker probably going to be Jayon Brown here. Had 100 and some odd tackles with the Titans a couple years ago. Now, you could see him and a guy like Denzel Perryman both kind of battle it out here for the middle spot, but either way, you're going to put Denzel Perryman on the field. You do not care who starts, but you want both of those guys tackling machines, covering machines. You love it. Strong safety, you got Jonathan Abram. Now, would I potentially like to see the Raiders, I don't know, go on, get somebody, that Cook out of Cincinnati in the draft? Probably to play safety, but overall, I think Jonathan Abram, I think he's still a very good player. Him and Tre'von Moehrig should be a lot better in year two together and do a lot of good things. Tre'von Moehrig should have a big year in year two. We're also going to make a video about that, about players we think should potentially step up in year two. At the corner spots, again, this is not set in stone. This is our vomiting and putting it on our Excel spreadsheet here and seeing if it sticks. Now, Rock Ya-Sin, Anthony Averett's another name that you put up there. Nate Hobbs is also another guy. Like, Nate Hobbs is more of he's more of a what you call a nickel corner, like guy that you come in and put him in the slot and just have him shut down the opposing team's fast, explosive wide receiver. But I would like to see what he does on the outside, because I feel like Nate Hobbs doesn't get near the love he should, and at least the opportunity. Now, if you want to put Deron Harmon or just mix around one of these guys, maybe put Deron Harmon at strong, put Jonathan Abram at corner, I don't care, but get Nate Hobbs on the football field. Good things tend to happen when he is on the field. So that's just me messing around here. Probably Rock Ya-Sin and Rock Ya-Sin City. You guys are awesome in the comment section. But yeah, like I said, Nate Hobbs, try him out at outside. If he doesn't work, put him back at nickel and watch him shut down the opposing team's most explosive player in the slot there. In the 3-4, this is where things get fun. So you get Max Crosby. Hey, I spelled his name right. Fantastic. Bilal Nichols there at nose. I just over guys like Vernon Butler, in Vickers. I've got a good feeling about it. I really do. I feel like if you put him at D tackle now, again, you could put Vernon Butler at nose here and put Bilal Nichols at end. It doesn't matter to me, but I just really I think Bilal Nichols, when he was with the Bears, when he played nose, had 5 sacks. So that's all you need to know in that situation. And like I said, the 3-4, it's so hard to go through all the different formations as an offensive lineman and see which guy you're going to block because you don't know who's coming. And then it obviously helps when you've got guys also that are just studs. So in the 3-4, again, this could be a situation where we could see a guy like Malcolm Kuntz on the football field, but for right now, we're just going to kind of see where it goes. But Chandler Jones probably starting at that Sam position. He's your best pass rusher. That's kind of who you put at Sam. More, I believe it's the left outside linebacker. I might be right. I get these things confused, but I believe it's that left outside linebacker. And he's at the Sam position. In other words, he's usually going against the left tackle. So maybe it's the left, the right. Doesn't matter. Point is, he's going to play Sam at that inside linebacker spot. So you got Denzel Perriman and John Brown. This is looking great, by the way. You love that. Those two in the middle going around getting tackles. Also, Kyler Fackrell on that right outside. Again, Malcolm Kuntz here, maybe. We'll see. And then obviously the same thing with the corners as well. So, a lot of different things going on. A lot of things could change, but I do think that moving forward, the Raiders are in a position where they could do a lot of different fun things and see what guys, and that's what training camp is for. And I believe since they hired a head coach and a GM, they get to go through OTAs like 2 weeks earlier than everybody else, just like the Vikings, I'm pretty sure. So there's time to figure out where everybody fits. You've got two different defensive schemes. You find out where you want to put everybody else to be successful. And then you put them in that place and they go out and do it. That's literally it. So I'm excited to see what a lot of this brings. Again, this is not set in stone. There could be switches, guys going into different places. This is just our very preliminary look at it, and we're excited. There's a lot of good things. Now, offensively, you look at it here, the research that I've done, the tape that I've watched for the Patriots, they do a lot of 12 and 11 personnel and a lot of other things, but I think these are two of the specific personnel that I think will directly benefit the Raiders the most, because we talk about 12. Now, what does 12 mean? You talk about one running back. So the first number is the number of running backs, and the second number is the number of tight ends. So one running back, 2 tight ends. I know I put the 3 tight ends in that. Actually, no, I didn't. I put another wide receiver. Anyway, you took 2 tight ends, Waller and Moreau there. I think they could be really interesting. You talk about a double tight end set that could do a lot of big things. You also talk about, obviously, Derek Carr at quarterback, Josh Jacobs at running back, Jacob Johnson. They also signed, who was it, that Sutton Smith out of, I think it was Northern Iowa or something like that. I mean, I had a coach in college that coached him, so that was pretty cool, I thought. So Waller and Moreau at tight end, Adams and Renfro at your wide receivers there, Colton Miller and everybody else. That's, again, having 2 wide receiver sets. And I meant to put Edwards down with the wide receivers, now with the tight end, so I apologize for that. Now, and I know also, again, 11 personnel is 1 tight end, so obviously it'd be Waller in that situation. That's more for a depth piece if you want to get all into that. But obviously right now, Colton Miller is going to start at left tackle no matter what. Then the offensive line you don't really mess with. It's just kind of, unless you want to go into the heavy personnel, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, you want to get a yard, you obviously will mess around with that. But this is base. Colton Miller, left tackle, John Simpson at left guard, Andre James at center, who's serviceable. I like Andre James. Alex Leatherwood is going to start at right guard. I don't care what anybody says. He needs to start at right guard. I thought we saw some, especially from the tape that we saw, he found his role. He really did find his role at right guard. There were some things after we went back and watched the tape. Is it tough for a first guy to come to the NFL and make an impact? Yes, it's the impact, or it's the NFL. It's the biggest. This is where men are made. So, I'm expecting a guy like Alex Leatherwood to come in and just do his thing and stay in year 2. Brandon Parker, I want to see him replaced. No offense to Brandon Parker, but I think he's more of a depth piece at this point. And I know a lot of fans have been in my comment section talking about Denzel Good. I don't have a problem with Denzel Good. The point is, though, I want an upgrade, and I think Leatherwood is that long-term upgrade that we could see a lot of good things. Now, Denzel Good could definitely break the starting lineup and be a very good football player, but I'm talking about long-term success, long-term longevity of it. I want to see Leatherwood getting the reps. I want to see him continue to be one of the best right guards, or at least have that shot to be one of the best right guards in the league. But Brandon Parker, man, wouldn't it just be awesome if the Raiders did one more move and went up and got a guy like Trevor Penning at right tackle? You'd love to see it. But we'll see what they do, who they bring in, what they really want to do on that, because I do think you want to find a potential replacement for Brandon Parker. But again, you'd like to see upgrades over at left guard as well, but it is what it is. He's serviceable, as is John Simpson in that respect. In the 11 personnel, Same thing. The only difference is it's one running back, one tight end, and three wide receivers. Excuse me. Again, I meant to put Edwards down with Adams and Renfrow in that situation. I apologize, but just for and also I think it also helps to think of having Waller and Moreau in those two spots to know you've got two really good tight ends. So if you go down to the Adams and Renfrow, just imagine Edwards is there because it's supposed to be Adams, Renfrow, and Edwards. Bryan Edwards might have a breakout year. Like, if you think about all the attention that Davante Adams and Hunter Renfrow are going to get, like, nobody's going to be guarding Bryan Edwards, and it could be a bad thing for opposing teams because he's a good football player. I think he just needs to be in the right scheme, and I think 11 personnel might be the best formation for him moving forward. So again, offensive line, we addressed it. Moving forward, there's a couple things we'd like to see upgraded, but at this point, that is kind of the base that we're seeing. But there's a lot of good things. There's a lot of excitement. They've got a lot of the pieces figured out, as do the Raiders. And I think moving forward, there's a lot of different things they could do. Again, as I was saying with the defense, it's just preliminary. It's just we're putting it in. We're going to see where things kind of move along. We're going to continue to update that. Thank you to that person in the comment section. You know who you are for giving us this idea to be able to come out and do. And again, we're going to see how the rest of this pans out. Get a starting right tackle, please. Go get Trevor Penning or whoever, Desmond Moses. Go get Moses. I can't talk today. Whoever you want it to start at right tackle and just go make an impact, and you love to see it. You love to see it. Or you could trade, I don't know, go out and trade for the Vikings. Go get Brian O'Neill. Never mind. Don't do that. Just kidding. I love Brian O'Neill. Please don't do that. But overall, I think there's a lot of good things going for the Raiders moving forward, and this has been kind of a really fun offseason so far. But let us know what you guys think about us projecting the Las Vegas Raiders starting offense and defense. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. In the description down below, you'll find all of our social media platforms, so give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let's know what you guys think of us projecting the Las Vegas Raiders starting offense and starting defense.